quick fire preview for the weekend ahead. So we'll go in like game order. So
Yeah.
12:30 Saturday, Chelsea versus Manchester City. I see Manchester City losing. I think Chelsea are in hot form. I think Chelsea are going to win 3-2. I think it's going to be a great game, and I think Lukaku will have a good game against Ruben Dias and Laporte as well, or Ake if he starts. How do you see this game going?
Chelsea look really, really, really strong this year. For me, like when us lads on Ball and Banter, when we done our season preview, we all said Chelsea are the favourites this year, and nothing's changed. Nothing I've seen has changed my mind on that. I think it's very, very strong. I think they'll beat City. I think it'll be 2-0. 2-0 to Chelsea. I think Lukaku will score twice. Yeah, clean sheet as well.
No, that would be good. Like even I was saying before the season, I think Chelsea are the benchmark for the Premier League this season because how they won the Champions League without a proper goal scorer. No disrespect to Timo Werner, but he still has time to settle into the Premier League. Because even if you saw the game against Spurs the other day, Lukaku set him through. He's 1-on-1. He dragged his touchback, and he just got tackled and dispossessed.
Yeah, he lost it,
when he should have just a killer striker would have just finished that away. So it'll be good to see how Lukaku does against just Manchester City side and see if Manchester City can bounce back from their draw against Southampton. Another 12:30 game, Man United versus Aston Villa. So this is a little kind of FNCA derby for us because we've got one Villa fan and we've got 4 Man United fans. So 3 of them are going to the game. I'm not going to the game because I'm just not. It's 12:30 kickoff.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it because I think Aston Villa looked quite good against Everton the other day, even leaving out Buendia and Bailly coming on as a sub. Their 3-4-3 situation was quite good because we've got Axel, Tuanzebe, Konsa and Mings kind of just playing as all 3 ball playing centre-backs, but Tuanzebe will be illegible for the game because it's on loan from Man United. But I think Manchester United will win 3-1. I think it'll be another high-scoring game. I think we'll concede. But I think Manchester United, the buzz around Old Trafford so far this season has been brilliant. Newcastle, I fortunately was able to go to that game and it was immense seeing Ronaldo come back and score. Fernandez's goal was insane, but everyone was saying the Leeds game was just as popular, just as fun in the stadium as well. So I'm looking forward to this game against Aston Villa. We've had an easy start so far in terms of the teams to face, so I don't think we should let up anytime soon. How do you see this game going, MJ?
I see this as a regulation home win for United. Don't get me wrong, I was impressed with Villa, the transfer winner that they had, even though they lost Grealish. I thought they bought really well. And I think buying Buendia, what's the guy from Leverkusen? Leon Bailey and Ings. I think those 3 in particular can compensate for Grealish really well. So I think even though they lost their star player, I think they have a better all-rounded team now. But I still don't think it will save them against United, and I think United will win that 2 or 3-0.
Because I was someone who I thought Tammy Abraham should have gone to Aston Villa because he was on loan there a couple of years ago. I thought it would have been a good signing, but they just got Danny Ings just like that out of nowhere. And I was like,
that surprised me.
Cheaper as well.
Cheaper as well. He knows where the goal is. He will definitely get them. He will definitely get goals for them. I like Ings. I think he's a decent player.
Brilliant player to play with FIFA as well, just as good. Everton versus Norwich, I think it's going to be an easy win for Everton, bouncing back after the game against Aston Villa. Norwich still haven't picked up a point this season. Daniel Farke just looks really good in the Championship with this Norwich team, but Norwich don't look very good in the Premier League this season with Daniel Farke as manager. But is it a management thing? Is it just the fact that players just aren't good enough for this league? What do you think about Everton versus Norwich, MJ?
I think it'll be a regulation home win for Everton. I don't think it'll be a high scoring game, 1-0, 2-0 max. I think unfortunately for the Norwich manager, he'll be a sad Farker at the end of the game, but here we go.
He will be. Sad face from Daniel Farke on the pitch.
You know that.
It's gonna be very punishable for him on the weekend as well.
Poor
guy and all the headlines. All these headlines. And then we've got quite a fun 3 o'clock game. I feel like this could have been like a Sunday game, but it's Leeds versus West Ham United. Bielsa versus David Moyes. Expansive football from Bielsa and quite attacking, counter-attacking football from West Ham United, who I believe will have Mikel Antonio back in the starting 11. So I see this as a West Ham win. I think West Ham will go to Leeds. I think they'll turn it up. I think Leeds still need to focus on their defending because they do play great expansive football, but they don't turn back and they don't come back well enough for me in this league. But that's just how I see it. I think West Ham will bounce back. They'll have a game against Man United Wednesday in the League Cup. But I think West Ham will focus on this West Ham versus Leeds game on Saturday. How do you see this game go? Leeds versus West Ham at the Ellen Road.
I think it will be a tight game. I can easily see this being like a score draw, maybe 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you about Leeds, and I do think that's the one thing Leeds have to be careful about. Yeah, like they do score a lot of goals, but they concede a lot of goals as well, and they concede a lot of chances. Um, but Bamford's looking good up top. I love the way that Bielsa plays and the way that Leeds play in general. It's really high energy, man-to-man marking all over the pitch. I know a lot of teams find it hard to play against them. I think it's going to be a score draw. I'll say 1-1 on this one. Big, so on the West Ham point of view, it's a big shout to have Antonio back. I think he's another really underrated player. He gets about, gives you 100%. He's a pain in the arse, in the air, he'll work the flanks, everything. So it's a good move to have Antonio back because I think they miss him and they miss something when he's not playing up top. And yeah, no, I think it'll be a score draw. I'll say 1-1.
1-1.
Mm.
Imagine if they kept Haller as well, and Haller scored four for Ajax last week in the Champions League. So you're just thinking they didn't replace Haller, let alone replacing Antonio, who had the red card on the weekend. So,
That's
what
true.
we got next? Got Leicester versus Burnley. Leicester have been falling off recently. They lost against Brighton. They lost against Man
Hmm.
City 1-0. I thought they could have snatched a draw in that game, but they didn't.
Hmm.
Realistically, I would say a draw in this game. I don't think Leicester's form will help them come back to winning
Hmm.
ways just yet.
Hmm.
Burnley will kind of stay a bit more resilient. How did Burnley play against Arsenal last week, MJ?
Uh, a lot of, as you would expect from a Sean Dyche team, very organized.
Hmm.
They won't give up. 100% set pieces, long throws, all that type of stuff you're going to be used to. The other thing with Burnley, they just lack a bit of quality, really, to be honest.
Hmm.
I think it's going to be a tough season for Burnley. Look, I think they'll stay up, but I just think they'll be floating around that bottom five, bottom six. But
No man's land, yeah.
no man's land, yeah, basically. They're not going to be fighting for Europe. I don't think they'll get relegated, but I think they'll just be in that kind of general area. I just think, yeah, there's like a bit of quality, to be honest. But I think Sean Dash has done amazing with them. I don't think he can really take them any further than what he's done during his stint there. I think in one season, they finished seventh, went to Europe, which
Hmm.
is a great season for Burnley, and got to Europa League. That was a great season, but I just think, is it King Power? Is it or is
King
it
Power Stadium, yeah.
King Power? I just think I think Leicester will find it hard, but I think they'll eventually break them down and score. I'll say 1-0 Leicester.
1-0 Leicester.
Mm.
Ah,
But
okay.
Leicester, just a quick shout on Leicester as well because they haven't had a great start to the season. They're in the same points as the team I support, Arsenal. So it's good to see someone else struggling as well, and not just Arsenal marooned around certain teams like Southampton and stuff like that. Yeah, no disrespect to Southampton or any teams that in the middle of the table. But yeah, no, I think Leicester they've had a very slow start to the season. But you know what? With Brendan Rodgers team is a really good team. So I think they'll be fine. I think again they'll be fine for top six. But I think they'll win 1-0.
Yeah, Leicester, I mean, they had their fun with the FA Cup win. They're in the Europa League now as well, and they won the Community
Mm-hmm.
Shield. So it's just about
Exactly.
how much they prioritise the Premier League just at the moment because of the squad of players that they've got, the injuries that they had, and just
Mm-hmm.
juggling everything. Brendan Rodgers has to do that
Definitely.
for his Leicester squad.
Mm.
Watford versus Newcastle 0-0. I see in this game. I don't see it being very interesting. I think
Mm.
Newcastle will go down with the way that they're playing at the moment.
Mm.
I'm glad that it was televised on Friday night about how Newcastle were playing and Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher actually had a sit down with the fans because when we speak to the Newcastle fans ourselves as well, we're just there like, what do you expect tonight? We just want to entertain football. We want to stay up. We want to improve season on season. But it's not looking the case under Steve Bruce and still Matt Ashley still as the owner as well. But I think Newcastle will get relegated this season. But I think it's going to be a 0-0 game in this one. What do you think about Watford versus Newcastle at Vicarage Road?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Dal. I'm not gonna lie, I've not really watched Watford this season. I did see some of the Newcastle Leeds game last week, Friday. I think with Newcastle, it's a strange one because they're a massive club, massive, massive club, passionate
Hmm.
fans, massive stadium. I think they should be doing better than what they are doing, to be honest. But it's the owner in it, and me as an Arsenal fan, I know about owners or stingy owners or not getting along with your owner.
Exactly.
So I feel the Newcastle fans' pain on that, and it's been going on for a long, long time. I think it was meant to be taken over last year, and I don't know what happened, some last minute glitch, and it kind of cancelled and flopped. But yeah, with this game, I think Newcastle again. I think they'll be similar to Burnley. I think they'll be in and around that bottom six area, but I think they'll stay up. Uh, yeah, I'll say 0-0. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say 1-0 Newcastle, and I think Arsenal old boy Joe Willock will score as well.
Oh, I really liked him last season when he was on loan, and now he's just there now as part of part of this squad permanently. So we'll see how Joe Willett does
Exactly.
as a transitional midfielder this season going forward. Brentford
Definitely.
versus Liverpool. Brentford had a good game against Wolves last week, so Brentford are at
Mhm.
home in this game. Liverpool, I think they're going to be fighting for the title. Everyone, I don't get when people in the media are saying Liverpool don't look the same that they are. They're not looking as hungry as they are. They look just as good, if
Mhm.
better than anything, because people were expecting amazing signings. But Kunate made his debut, I think, last week, which was good to see him play. I think he's going to be one of the best signings of the season. I predicted it
Mhm.
earlier, but everyone's like, Hamza, he hasn't even played yet. Matip's there, Gomez is there, Kunate's not playing. I'm like, we'll still see him play. It was a big signing for them, and
Definitely.
I think Liverpool will win this 4-1. Big high scoring game for Liverpool, I think.
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Brentford, I think it will be a regulation win for Liverpool, 3-0. But I'm going to give a shout out to Brentford though, because they've had a good start to the season. I know they've had a couple of wins. I think they're in the top half, aren't they? If I quickly check the table.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
ninth.
they're ninth. They're ninth. They've won two games, drawn two, and only lost once. So now I'm going to give a shout out to Brentford because they turned Arsenal over on the opening day and they thoroughly deserved it. The fans were buzzing, they were on it, high energy. Their first return to the Premier League, the first game of the season is at home, so you can imagine they're going to be totally up for it. I think they'll be up for it again against Liverpool, but I think Liverpool will have too much class. And I totally agree with you. Liverpool seem to be a bit understated this year. No one really seems to be talking about them. And I think that will suit them.
Yeah,
Definitely. And I
it will
think they'll
suit
be the
Klopp
closest
definitely as
challengers.
well.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll be the closest challengers to Chelsea, to be honest. I can see City not having a great season. I think City will still finish top four, but I think they'll literally finish fourth. I think United will probably finish above them, then Liverpool, then Chelsea. But I know they didn't ask me for a Premier League prediction, but yeah, I'm saying that I think Liverpool will be really strong this year. So
No,
I think
that's how I predicted it. I went Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Man City as the top four, just like the two Manchester clubs, just off it. I think even with
Mhm.
Ronaldo signing Varane and Sancho, that's how I see
Mhm.
it personally. But got Southampton versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Wolves are off to a very poor start. They play well, but they lose, which is the
They
thing
do.
we hear all the time from the manager and from the fans.
Not good
Um,
though.
it's not good for them.
Not a
Southampton
good
have been
trait to have.
plucky,
Mm.
as always, drew to Man United, drew to Manchester City last weekend as well,
Hmm.
which is good. That VAR decision, they missed the penalty, I think they did as well.
Yeah, they did. I think they did, didn't they?
Yeah, it was quite sad to see that. I think it was one of them things. No, it was VAR. I think got overturned when they got the
Overturned the
penalty.
red,
That was it.
red card got overturned, didn't it?
That was it. Yeah, the Carl
Yeah,
Walker thing.
yeah, the
But
car
no,
walking, yeah.
I think Southampton will win this game 1-0. I think Wolverhampton Wanderers, they are still getting used to life without Nuno Espirito Santo. So I think the fact
Mm.
that they're still getting used to this new idea of having a new manager and having these new type of ways of playing. I hate the fact that I've said it for the last couple of weeks. I hate the fact that everyone hypes up Adama Traore because I don't think it's not been good for the last 2-3 years. Besides dribbling and running and attacking, it's fine. But people just remember him for barging off Benjamin Mendy a couple seasons ago and then just
Which
crossing
ain't
the
saying
ball.
much.
Yeah, which isn't much. Mendy's in
No,
prison at the moment, so look how
that's
well
pretty
Mendy's
all.
doing at the moment. We don't respect Benjamin Mendy on this podcast for what is done or
No,
what is allegedly done.
and
So
let yeah.
allegedly prove until proven
Hmm.
guilty.
Hmm.
Um, but no, I think it'll be a Southampton win. Their new right back Liveramento, I think from Chelsea, has been very good to see. Adam Armstrong, I think, has been very good to see this season. He should have won the game against Man United, but De
Hmm.
Gea made a decent save. How do you see Southampton versus Wolves going on Sunday? They're at St Mary's.
I'm gonna start with the away team first with Wolves. I think Wolves are in big trouble this year, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think they are. I think sorry to put any Wolves fan that tune in. I think there might
We've
be.
got like three on our daily listeners, so it's perfectly fine. You'll upset like three of them, so that's cool.
So I apologize to you three guys, but I think it's gonna be a tough season for Wolves. I'm not saying they're gonna get relegated, but I'm saying it's gonna be a tough season.
Hmm.
Traore, you know what? Yeah, he's so hot and cold. But if you actually look at his stats are not great, for goals and assists.
They're like Daniel James's, and we sold Daniel James, and Adama Traore was getting quoted 80 million last season.
Ooh, that's
I,
crazy money. That's crazy money.
Neto was so much better last season, and I think he's
Yes.
injured at the moment. But
Yeah.
Trincão's come in and another type of dribbling winger who hasn't got the end product just yet, but he's still settling into Premier League.
Hmm.
Adama, I remember I went to watch a game for Man United versus Wolves. Is
Hmm.
1-1 last minute of the game. Adama Traore threw on goal to De Gea, no composure, just blasted over the goal, and you're just like
Yep.
thinking we should have lost that game, but he didn't finish
Yeah.
it.
Unfortunately, that's what you get for Adama. He will do
Yeah,
the difficult thing really well. Then when it comes to the easy part, he'll flop on that. I mean,
yeah.
look, I just quickly put up some stats on Adama. Like last year, he scored 2 goals and 2 assists.
Hmm.
Not great. Okay, the season before he done not too bad. 4 goals and 9 assists. That's not too bad.
That's pretty
But
good.
then that's not bad. That was 2019, 2020. And then if we go back one more season, his when Wolves first got promoted to the Premier League. Okay, he played 29 games. He scored one and assisted one. Do you think
Hmm.
that in 4 years, he's got like what, 7 goals and 13 assists in 4 years? I
Because
don't think that's good enough.
no, definitely isn't good enough. And for me, if I was Wolverhampton, I would have cashed in a long time ago. Because to be fair, in that first season, he wasn't playing every game. He wasn't
No.
the first choice
In
right
and
winger
out.
at the time, in and out. Because they were
Mm,
playing like a 3-5-2 with two strikers up top.
that's right. Yep.
But ever since he became a lot more scary to defenders, that's when he became more of a starter. But it's just the fact that he kind of does two jobs at once in his defense. So he's a right wing back and he's a right winger at the same time in that
Hmm.
3-4-3 formation. So he does drop back a lot. But
Yeah.
still, you expect more from someone like him who realistically, I think, should be playing European football a lot more, and he
There
should
you
really
go.
be at that level. But he hasn't progressed himself, so
No.
that's how I see it. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
Southampton will win on Sunday. I think it'll be a good game for Southampton and Hassan Hutel. We'll see how they do. But here's your big game of the weekend: Arsenal versus
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham, the North London
Mm-hmm.
derby.
Yep. Like I said to you earlier, I'm cautiously optimistic about this game.
Hmm.
Form goes out the window when it comes to the derby, any derby. So it could be like City Liverpool, so City United or United Liverpool. When it comes to that game, it doesn't matter like about your last year's game. It matters about that game right now. I
Hmm.
think the only thing that plays into Arsenal's hands is that Tottenham haven't beaten us at the Emirates. So even all these years when we haven't beaten them or they finished above us, they've not beaten us at the Emirates. I think that will continue. They got destroyed by Chelsea the other day. Yesterday, wasn't it? Sorry,
Yeah, yesterday.
3-0 at home. But I know when it comes to derbies, Kane shows up, so I'm expecting Kane to play well. To be fair, I'm expecting Tottenham to play pretty well, but I'm just hoping we can just overcome them. 2-1. I'll say 2-1 Arsenal.
I think Arsenal will win 1-0 against this Tottenham side. I think it'll be, as North London derbies go, I don't think it'll be as entertaining as we've seen over the last couple of years. It'll be good to have the fans back. But
Yes, definitely.
I think for me, that will be the most entertaining part of the game when you got the fans back. But both of these teams, Tottenham had a great start to the season in August. Nuno winning manager of
Yes.
the month, them
Yeah,
scoring
3 games in a row.
3 games in a row. They did really well, top of the
Mm,
league, and all the
hmm
Spurs fans bantering of the whole watch the gap thing, first and 20th. But I think with Arsenal at the Emirates in the North London derby, I can't remember Tottenham beating them since
No.
like the Van der Vaart,
Yeah,
the
Bentley
Kabul,
and
Bentley,
Bentley.
Kabul,
Yeah, that
them
team.
ones. Gareth
Yeah,
Bale, young Gareth Bale, but
Modric.
exactly. But I
Mm,
don't think the Spurs team, if they would have done it, they would have done it years ago when they had the proper Dembele, Ericsson midfield, Lucas
yeah,
Moura coming through, Son, Harry
yeah.
Kane. But
I
um, I'm looking at these players now, and I saw them the other day. I've not rated Dele Alli over the last 2-3 years that it's been because again he's someone that
Unfortunately.
he hasn't progressed. He's lost his place in the England squad,
Mm,
and I think that realistically speaking, is not really there for Tottenham when you
mm,
need him to be because he was there
mhm,
when he was there and mature at a younger age, but now he's just
mm,
like lost it all completely. You should do like what Jesse Lingard does and just go on loan somewhere for a season or half a
mm,
season, get his form back,
mm.
and it'll be good. But I think Arsenal win 1-0. I think it'll be a good win for Arteta against the Spurs sides, and especially the fact that you don't have European football, you're gonna have a fresher team this season as well. So Spurs will have the Conference League coming up as well, and have to worry
Mhm,
about that. But I
mm.
think Arsenal will win 1-0. I don't think it'll be a great game. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm looking at this game on Sunday at 4:30. I'm gonna be like, damn it, why did I say that on the podcast? But I'm putting my neck out, and I think it's gonna be a decent 1-0 win for Arsenal.
You know what? I don't mind if we play rubbish and win. I'll take that. Since we win, that's the most important thing. Just
It's
a
a
quick
derby.
it's a derby. It's a quick one on Spurs and in particular Dele Alli. I think those 2 good years he had at Tottenham when he first went there, that's when he was playing as a number 10 behind Harry Kane. And I
Hmm.
think since then they've always tried to find a place for him. He's not. You can't really play him as a winger, like
Can't
how
play him as an eight.
you can't really play him as an eight. Where does he really fit in? And I think this
And
is
Harry
where.
Kane drops in more for creativity in that number 10 position as well. So you're just there thinking, is he just
Mhm,
sticking out like a sore thumb? Is it time to go somewhere else, maybe? Get a
definitely.
second lease of life?
Definitely, he's kind of like in that similar situation to Özil, where there's no really real room for a number 10 no more in modern football. No one really plays for number 10. Everyone
Yeah.
plays 4-3-3 with two number eights, or you just play one up top. And I don't really see a space for a number 10 anymore in the modern game. So I think Ali is suffering from that, to be honest, as well.
I mean, we have a 10 called Bruno Fernandes who's not too shabby. I mean,
Mm,
he'll do the defensive work, he'll do the hard work, which a lot of
mm,
old-fashioned number 10s don't like to do or don't like to
mm-hmm.
do as well. But even James Madison's very good at the hard work.
Yeah.
Mason Mount's very good at it as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The other day, Everton were playing with Iwobi, Richard, no, Iwobi, Demarai Gray, and Andros Townsend, and they were just rotating as a 10. They were like, we know we're all wingers, but someone will
Yes.
just fill the space. They were just being
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Ramaduta type number 10, just being there in their space for positional purposes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, last game of the weekend, Monday, Crystal Palace versus Brighton, which is considered a derby anyway. They've got a big little rivalry there.
I don't know how.
Brighton, yeah, it's something that I have to research, but I'm not going to research. We're at the end of the podcast anyway. But I think Brighton will win this game. Brighton have been quite fun to watch this season as well. Mopay, Welbeck scoring yesterday against Leicester. They're in the top four as well, 12 points as well. Crystal Palace not doing too bad as well. Patrick Vieira winning against Tottenham. They had a good performance against West Ham, I believe, as well. Conor Gallagher doing really well on loan to Chelsea. I think it'll be a 2-0 Brighton win. I think Crystal Palace, they should have just sold Zaha ages ago and just rebuilt the team. But that's just how I see it. How do you see the last game of the weekend? MJ, Crystal Palace at home to Brighton.
As Palace are at home, I'll say it'll be a Palace win. I've always kind of looked up at Palace because they're a fellow London team, and now they've got Vieira there, Arsenal legend, at the helm. I just love what he said after spanking Tottenham. I just love his reaction. He was just like, "Well, beating Tottenham is not a big thing for me." I just love that. I just loved it.
He's been there and done that.
Yeah, just been there and done that. Yeah, it's nothing to him, innit? That but yeah, I think Palace will win. I think it'll be a tight game. I say 2-1. I say 2-1 Palace in that one.
Brilliant. And how do you see Brighton going this season? Just to finish off the podcast, do you reckon Brighton can keep up this hot form, or do you reckon it's just early blues and they're just good with it and they're going to go mid-table again?
You know what? They've actually got a decent team. I like what's that guy's name? Trossard. I really do like Trossard. I think Trossard's a good player. And you got like someone who's very technically gifted. He's a good player. And you got someone like Lallana still there as well, can pull a bit of strings when he's not injured. I think he'd be a good addition to their midfield when he's not injured and playing. Still got Yves Bissouma. I think he's a good player. Welbeck still has something to offer up top. I think they're a decent side. I think they're having a bit of a purple patch at the moment, but I think they'll be safe mid-table, to be honest, like 10th, 11th. I think they'll be safe this season.
Yeah, because
I'm part of changing the bit of football as well. Sorry.
No, it's fine. But I was saying previously on a couple of podcasts before, I was like, if I was Arsenal and I had 50 million in my pocket going to Brighton, I'd have gone for Bissouma as opposed to Ben White. But
100%.
That's how I would have seen it. But